Okay, we're on page 199. Let's look at problem 3. It says find 3/4 of 24. Again, they're giving you all these different methods to think about it because the more ways you can visualize multiplying fractions, the easier for you it is to figure them out. So find 3/4 of 24. So they're going to look at the bar model again here. So we're taking that 24 and we're splitting it into 4 equal groups. All right, so we're going to take 24, again, imagine it without the lines in it. We would cut it in half, and then we would cut it in half again, and we would end up with 4 equal groups, and they want us to keep 3 of them, so that's the shaded part here. All right, so it's saying I want to break, I have 4 units that equal 24, so 1 unit, all right, trying to figure out what this is, 1 unit must be 24 divided by 4, which is 6. All right, so each of these pieces end up being 6 units. And then they say, okay, now take 3 units. All right, so if each one contains 6, how much would 3 units be? That would be 18. All right, so here's the visual way. Let's do it the fast way, all right, where we're not doing it in 3 separate steps, but we're combining it all into one. So now we're going to say 3/4 times 24. Again, that is going to look like this. Top times top, 3 times 24, over bottom times bottom, 4 times 1 is 4. We're going to simplify first, all right, take out any common factors. So 4 evenly goes into 24. So 4 goes into 4 once, and it goes into 24 6 times. 3 times 6, 18. 1 is just 1, so this ends up being 18. Again, the advantage of the visual model is that you're really understanding what's going on, but it just does take a little bit longer. So as we go through, we're looking at the visual model and then we're seeing how it plays out numerically. Okay, let's take a look at number 4. Find 4/5 of 15. So again, this is saying take 15 and break it into fifths, right? Or 5 equal groups. This is not as easy to do as it is with fourths of 24, fourths of anything really. So breaking it into 5 equal groups, we're just going to have to think about that. 15 divided by 5, again, that's the same thing as 15 divided by 5, would be 3. So in each of these 5 equal groups, there are 3 things in it. 1 unit is worth 3. So 5 units is 15, right? Because that's our whole. 1 unit would be taking the 15 and breaking it into the 5 equal groups, which would be 3 in each group. All right, then it's saying we get to keep 4 of those groups. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 4 times the number or the length of that object, so we get 12. All right, so from a visual perspective, that was this part. And then from this, we're going to do it, again, the numerical way. So this is saying 4 times 15, that's going to be 4 times 15 over 5 times 1, which is 5. And again, we're going to simplify this, right, because 5 and 15 share a common factor. 5 goes into 5 once, and it goes into 15 3 times. Then we just multiply straight across, so 4 times 3 is 12, and 1 is just 1, so 12 over 1 is 12. Okay. Page 200. So these are ones that I'm only going to do a few of them because I want you to stop and practice them on your own. But let's go through and take a look at a couple of these. Let's maybe do, I don't know, how about these 4 together? Actually, you know what? I'm going to do A, C. I'm going to skip E because that's another one where it's just a unit fraction where there's just a 1 on the numerator. I only want to do one of those. So we'll do A, C, G, and I together. And then you're going to go and do the rest of them on your own. All right, not right after that because we're going to do these word problems. But all right, 1/5 of 10. I'm going to switch over from the visual model to just doing it. So this is 1/5 times 10. And again, this means the same thing as 10 over 1. So this really is 1 times 10 over 5. And again, we're going to look at this and see that 5 goes into 5 once and it goes into 10 twice. So this is 2. Right? If you did want to use the other method, you would say, all right, take 10 and split it into 5 equal groups. How many are in a single group? Well, that would be 10 divided by 5 would be 2, and then we only want one group. So that would be one group of 2. So we would get 2 that way. Okay. Now we already know that the fifths of 10 contain 2, right? So 3 of those is going to give us 6, but let's do it out numerically. So 3 fifths times 10 is the same as 3 times 10 over 5. The 5 and the 10 share a common factor, so 5 goes into 5 once and it goes into 10 twice, so 3 times 2 is 6. Okay, you think you could do this one on your own? How about you pause and try it and then come back, and I'm going to have the solution worked out for you. Okay, so you should have done 2/3 times 24 over 1, which is the same as 2 times 3, or whoops, 2 times 24 over 3. 3 and 24 share a common factor of 3. So 3 goes into 3 once, it goes into 24 8 times. 2 times 8 is 16 over 1. So our answer would be 16. Hopefully that's what you got. Now, I'm going to make a little bit of a leap here, and instead of doing it with the whole number on the bottom and then putting like a 1 on the bottom and then making it into a single fraction, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say I know that when I multiply 6 and 1 together, I'm just going to end up with a 6 in the bottom, and then I'm going to look at these two as having a common factor of 3. So instead of writing all this out, let me just do that part kind of in my head. So 6 and 9 share a common factor of 3. 3 goes into 6 2 times. 3 goes into 9 3 times. I'm also looking at this. This hasn't happened to us before, where this fraction shares a common factor. If you notice, 2 and 4 both share a common factor of 2, so I can cancel up and down there. So 2 goes into 2 once, and 2 goes into 4 twice. The advantage of doing that is I won't have to simplify at the end. So 2 times 3 is 6, and 1 times 1 is 1, so this is 6 over 1, or 6. Now let's do it again where I don't recognize that. So then I would have 4 over 2 times 9. I would end up getting 36 over 2. Whoops. That wasn't a 9 anymore. I forgot I canceled out that 3. I would have 4 over 2 times 3, so I would end up getting 12 over 2, which is an improper fraction, which I need to change into a mixed number. That would end up getting me 6. So if you don't notice it right here, it's fine. You'll catch it in the end. But if you do notice it here, you end up with an already simplified answer versus here where you have to do it again. Okay, so you're going to do these problems here. Again, the other thing I want to point out is notice how at the beginning they're saying of, whoops, of, and then at the bottom they switch to times. Again, of and times generally mean the same thing in math, right? When you say 1/5 of 10, it means 1/5 times 10. It's not always true, but a lot of times. Okay, I'm almost running out of battery on my camera, so let's see how many of these we can get out. All right, there are 15 dogs at a pet store. 2/3 of them are puppies. How many puppies are there? Actually, I'm going to skip that one because I think that you can handle that one on your own very easily. Let's take a look at this one. Caleb saved $100. He spent 3/4 of his savings on a snowboard. How much did the snowboard cost? Let's do that one just because the numbers are a little bit bigger. So 3/4 of 100, which is the same thing as 3/4 times 100. And again, you could either write it as 3 times 100 over 4, or you could go back here and notice that 4 and 100 share a common factor instead of noticing it right here. Either way, 4 goes into 100 4 times, so 4 goes into 4 once, and 100 25 times. Or if you did it right here, you would say 4 goes into 4 once, and it goes into 125 times. And now we're going to multiply straight across. So 3 times 25, or if you did it this way, 3 times 25 is 75. and then over 1. So it's $75. So the question was, he spent 3/4 of his savings on a snowboard. How much did the snowboard cost? It cost $75. All right, last one. The distance around a track is 400 meters. Camilla ran 5/8 of the distance around and walked the rest of the way. How far did she run? All right, so hopefully you would say it's 5/8 of 400 or just 5/8 times 400. And so we're going to look at, do 8 and 400 have any factors in common? That's a big number for you guys to be trying to figure out if there's a common factor. But if you, they're both divisible by 2 at least. This one you can see is also divisible by 4 because it's 4 times 100. So let's choose 4. So 8 divided by 4 is 2. 400 divided by 4 is 100. Now we can see that's a little bit better. 2 and 100 both share a common factor of 2. 2 goes into 2 one time, and it goes into 100 50 times. All right. Again, this starts to get a little bit messy, so please make sure that you're taking time to be neat. All right, because that is definitely a problem. Is sloppiness makes this a lot harder. So then we're going across 5 times 50. Well, 5 times 5 is 25, and then this is really an extra times 10, so that's 250 over 1, which is the same thing as 250. So she ran 250, and the abbreviation for meters is M. If you want to write out meters, you can, but you can just write M. Okay, good luck on these, and your parents can check them for you. Let me know if you have any questions. Bye.